Okay, today we're going to be doing the notes for Unit 3, Lesson 7, Complex Roots of a Polynomial. We're going to review first, so we're going to go ahead and see. We're going to draw our X and Y axis. Not perfect, but we get the idea. A little hard to do it. On here. All right, so when we do this, we're going to get some ideas on what the graph is going to actually do. So, very first thing, that negative right in the front, that's going to flip it. So instead of coming up on the right-hand side, it's going to go down on the right-hand side. This plus 2 means we're going to go to the left 2, and this plus 1 means we're going to go up 1. Normally, we know it crosses the y-axis at 0, so that's how we're changing it. So instead of starting at 0, we're going to go to the left 2, up 1. And instead of going up on the right-hand side, we're going to go down. And then instead of going down on the left, we're going to go up on the left. That's all we're doing. Okay, so here, the minus 3 means we're going to go down 3. The 1/2 just makes it a little bit smaller, so we're going to start at negative 3, or go ahead, start at 0. We're going to go down 3, 3, and for basic terms, we're just going to go up, and we're going to go down. All right. For each of the following functions, we have been given one factor. We're going to use that factor to find the remaining factors and determine the roots, and then write the function in factored form. So we're going to go back a couple units, and we're going to remember how to do long division. So we're going to take our short one, and we're going to put it in. So we're going to go x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x minus 12. And we're going to go ahead and do it. So hopefully remember, we have an x, we want x cubed, so we're going to multiply it by 2 x's, so x squared times x is x cubed, x squared times negative 3 x squared. We put parentheses around it because we are going to subtract the whole thing. X cubed minus x cubed is gone. Whoops. There we go. 3 minus a negative 3x will give, sorry, it's a positive. I wrote it negative, positive. There we go. 3 minus 3 gives me 0. So I'm going to bring down the next term, negative 4x. I can't do anything about it, so I'm going to continue to bring down the next one. So minus 12. And we want x. We have an x. We want a negative 4x. So I'm going to multiply it by negative 4. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times positive 3 is negative 12. If we subtract it, we get 0. Okay. So right now, we know we have one of our factored forms is going to be x plus 3. And that means we have a root at negative 3. Now, the other one, if we look over here, we have it as x plus 3, but then we have x squared minus 4. This one is not very simplified, so we're going to have to solve it. So we're going to go x squared minus 4 equals 0. Add 4 to both sides. X squared equals 4. Take the square root, put a plus and minus. X equals a positive and a negative 2. So we know it's going to cross at 2 and negative 2. So when we write it, x and we always do the opposite, minus 2x plus 2. And that's how you're going to be doing these. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the next one. And right now I am going to have you cross off number 3. We are not going to be doing that one this time. Okay, same thing. We're going to simplify what we can. We know we have a root at positive 5, and our factored form we have is x minus 5 from here. Okay, and then we're going to write it x minus 5 into our long division, and we're just going to write the rest of our polynomial. Okay, so I have an x. I want to get an x cubed. I'm going to multiply it by 2 more. So x squared times x gives me, likes to change its arrangement, x3. X squared times a negative 5. Put parentheses around it, and we're going to subtract. It gives us 0. So we're going to bring down our next one. And because a binomial cannot go into a monomial, we bring down the next one too. So plus 15. We want x to go into negative 3x, so we're going to multiply it by negative 3. Whoops, not negative 3x, just negative 3. There we go. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 5 is a positive 15. And if we subtract it, we're going to get 0. So we know it's going to be x minus 5 and x squared minus 3. But we need to simplify this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go x squared minus 3 equals 0. We're going to add the 3 to both sides. X squared equals 3. Now we want to get x squared by itself, or x by itself. So x is going to equal plus or minus, and the square root of 3 is just square root of 3. Okay? And we know it's going to be a positive square root of 3 and a negative square root of 3. That's where it crosses. And when we write it in our form, we're going to go x opposite of what we have up here, and x opposite of what we have here. Okay. All right. Let's go up to this one. And there's a reason I want to do this one. Okay. We're going to, again, we know one of the factored roots is x minus 2. And the roots is going to be a positive 2. And we're going to do our division. Now, if you notice, it only has an x to the 4th minus 16. It's missing everything in the middle. So what we're going to do 0x to the 3rd plus 0x squared plus 0x minus 16. Just so we have all the extra terms here. And then we're going to start multiplying. So x can go into x to the 4th can go into it 3 times. So x cubed times x is x to the 4th minus 2x cubed. We multiply. We're going to parentheses it, subtract it, and we get 2x cubed. Bring down this one. And we can keep doing this. Sorry, thinking about something else. 0x squared looking at my notes and seeing there is another way we could also do it, and I'm going to show you that way in a minute. 2x squared. So we get 2x cubed minus 2x squared. Parentheses, simplify it. We get 2x squared. Bring down the next one, plus 0x. And we know it could be, again, a 2x. And this will be 2x squared minus 4x. Get 4x minus 16. And, okay, don't know why it's moving around so much. We're going to multiply it, and it's just going to be plus 4. And we get it to be 4x minus 16. And it comes out to be 0. Okay, that's one way. And then you can keep doing the division. It would probably be another x plus 2, and then we'll do another x minus 2, and then you keep going. There is another way, and I'm going to do it right here. So we have x to the 4th minus 16. Okay. What we can do is we can take square root of both of these. We can factor these. And because it is an even number, we can do this. We can square root this, square root that, and we can get x squared. 1's going to be a minus, x squared. 1's going to be a positive. And the square root of 16 is 4. And here we can break those up to be x squared minus 4 equals 0. Add the 4. We get x squared equals 4. And we get x equals plus or minus 2. Here we get x squared plus 4 equals 0 minus the 4. So x squared equals negative 4. Take the square root. Plus minus equals plus minus. And remember, a negative square root of negative 4 is a negative 1. And square root of 4. Negative 1 is an I. And square root of 4 is a 2i. So we can rewrite this. So we know it's going to be crossing at another 2, negative 2, a 2i, and a negative 2i. So we're going to go ahead and go x. Well, we know it's going to cross 2 times because we know one of the factors is x minus 2, which is from here. Actually, I'm going to rewrite that one down here. This one would be if we did it here. It would be x minus 2, x plus 2, x minus 2i, and then x plus 2i. This one is a little bit crazier, but you guys get the idea. Now go ahead and work on the assignment.